This is the next in a series of videos on graphing quadratic functions, and this one focuses on graphing parabolas in standard form, or graphing quadratic functions in the form y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. So let's look at the problem that we'll be facing. You'll have a problem that looks like this. It'll say graph y is equal to x squared plus 4x plus 7. And the first thing you need to realize is what is it that you need when you graph such a function. And those various teachers do it different ways. In general, what you'll need is you'll need to identify the vertex. You'll need to define and label the axis of symmetry, and label at least 2 points. Sometimes you'll also be asked to identify the x and y intercepts, and that will be explained in a following video. So to graph y is equal to x squared plus 4x plus 7, the first step would be to find the vertex. And the way we find the vertex is we use the formula, and the formula is the x value of the vertex is equal to minus b over 2a. So this will give you the x value of that vertex. And then to find the y value, you plug in x. And where do you plug it into? Into the original equation. And that's the first step. So using this problem right here, let's find the vertex of this problem. So we have y is equal to x squared plus 4x plus 7. Now if you notice here, this is written in standard form, which is y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. So relative to here, we know that a is equal to 1. b is equal to 4, right? A is the coefficient in front of the x squared, so in this case it's 1. B is the coefficient in front of the x, so that's 4. And c here is a constant term, and that's 7. So to find the vertex, the formula that we use is x is equal to minus b over 2a. So that's minus a positive 4 over 2 times 1, which is minus 4 over 2, which is negative 2. So the x value of the vertex is negative 2. Now how do you find y? To find y, you take the x value of the vertex and you plug it into the original problem. So you'll have y is equal to negative 2 squared plus 4 times a negative 2 plus 7. And now you just evaluate this. A negative 2 squared is going to be a 4. 4 times negative 2 is a minus 8 plus 7. That's 4 minus 8, positive 7 is going to be 3. Let's make sure I did that right. 4 minus 8 is minus 4. A positive 7 will be 3, so that's correct. So the vertex in this case will equal to minus 2, 3. This is the x value, and that's the y value. Now, after you find the vertex, the next step should be to find the axis of symmetry. Now let's remind ourselves what the axis of symmetry is. If you have a parabola, whether it opens up or down, you're going to have a vertex, and the parabola is going to be a mirror image on both sides of that vertex. In fact, you can imagine an imaginary line going through the vertex acting as a mirror. So this part of the vertex, this part of the parabola will look identical to this part. This half of the parabola will look identical to this half. And that we call the axis of symmetry, or later it could be called the line of symmetry. Sometimes in calculus we'll just abbreviate LOS for line of symmetry. And the way that, if you notice, that goes right through the vertex, so the axis of symmetry will always have the equation x is equal to minus b over 2a. Always. So usually after you find the vertex, you can just read it off. In this previous problem, we knew that the vertex was minus 2, 3, so it's the line that goes through minus 2, 3. So this axis of symmetry in this case, that's step number 2, the axis of symmetry is x is equal to minus b over 2a, in this case minus 4 over 2 times 1, or minus 2. And it's a vertical line, and a vertical line always has the formula x is equal to something. In this case, x is equal to minus 2, so that's your axis of symmetry. Your third step will be to construct a table of values. The way that we're going to construct a table of values is we're just going to draw. You can make a table of values to find as many points as you wish. Most teachers would think that either 3 or 5 variables are going to be enough. I'm going to do it with 3. So you have a table of values, or an XY table you could call it. The key is I'm going to put the vertex in the middle. I've already found the vertex, and the vertex is minus 2, comma 3. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose any x values that I wish, as long as some of the x values are greater and some are less. So since I'm going to use 3 points, I'm going to choose x value. I'm going to choose one larger than the vertex. And it doesn't matter which one I choose. So here the x value of the vertex is minus 2. So I'm going to choose some number which is greater than minus 2. I'm going to choose 1. And then also I'm going to choose one that's smaller than the vertex. Now there's a trick here, and you don't have to use this trick, but this is a trick that's going to help me. And what I use the symmetry of of a parabola. And the trick is that I want to choose a number less than and greater than the vertex so that the distance is equal. So it's easier to show than explain. Here the distance between minus 2 and 1 is 3, right? This is positive 3, so I'm going to go a negative 3 as well. So negative 2 plus 3 is 1, so negative 3 minus, this is a positive 3, so I'm going to go a negative 3, so that I gauge the symmetry. If I do that, then this will be a minus 5. You don't have to do this, but if you do this, it's an easy way to check your graph. You'll end up with a prettier graph. If you do that, then these two y values would be the same. So that's how you find the x values. You choose any value which is greater than the x value of the vertex. Then you choose a number which is less than the vertex as well. And if you choose them equal distance, then you'll have it easier. So how do you find y? Again, to find y, plug in x. So let's go back to our original problem. Y is equal to x squared plus 4x plus 7. Plug in 1, so you have y is equal to 1 squared plus 4 times 1 plus 7. Y is equal to 1 plus 4 plus 7, which is 12. Now to find the y value here, you plug in a minus 5. So that's going to be a minus 5 squared plus 4 times a minus 5 plus 7. Minus 5 squared is 25. 4 times minus 5 is a minus 20 plus 7. If I add these up, I get 12 as well. In fact, that's because of the symmetry of the problem. That's why we do it as a way to check our work. And now the last thing we need to do is simply to graph these. So let's go ahead and graph these. So what we have here is we have our vertex. Our vertex is minus 2, 3. Our axis of symmetry is x is equal to minus 2. And our additional points are minus 5, 12 and 1, 12. And we got that just from our table value right here. And now all we need to do is to draw an XY graph and draw in these points and then sketch in the parabola. Minus 2, 1, 2, 3 goes right here. The axis of symmetry is going to be a vertical line. Traditionally, the axis of symmetry is drawn as a dotted line. It's not actually part of the graph, it's an attribute of the graph. We still want to label it. I label the vertex by putting a V in front of the point and then labeling the point. And then I want to graph minus 5, 12, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's going to go right there. And 1, 12 is going to go right there. Minus 5, 12, 1, 12. And now sketching the graph. Remember, it starts off kind of flat and then goes kind of more steep. Starts off kind of flat and goes more steep. And that's how you graph parabolas in standard form.